Good evening, good evening, good evening, everyone. Welcome back to Transplant Talk with Nishonda, sponsored by Save 1000 Lives. Happy Thankful Thursday, everyone. Happy Thankful Thursday. I'm so glad you all are here. And I already see my parents, Major and Gwen Rollins, already showing me some love. Hello, Mom and Dad. Thank you all for watching. They are ready. All right, so that Transplant Talk was created so that we can bring awareness about the need of organ donation. And I ultimately want to be able to raise awareness in the multicultural community. And I also want to get 1,000 people registered to be organ donors. Now, you might ask me, well, how are you getting us to be registered? Listen, there's several things that you can go to in order for you to be that. You can also go to my website, say1000lives.squarespace.com. You can also go to registerme.org, and everyone can become an organ donor. And on this Thankful Thursday, I'm appreciative for everyone that's watching. This is what I need you to do. I need you to text, tell, and tag somebody about this broadcast because my special guest today have the esteemed honor of having Miss Adrian Murray on my show. And we're so proud to have the honor and privilege. And I want to make sure I get his picture up um, to honor her son, Kendrick Murray, who became an organ donor. I'm going to show his picture. Okay, that is her handsome son. That is her handsome son that she, tragically lost. And we are wanting to pay tribute and honor to him because he was an organ donor and he was able to save. Right now, I want to say 6 lives, but we're going to say 5 lives. And this young man is an ultimate hero. Now, I have to say this. Now, he was able to give another organ that's kind of rare. So right now I have the esteemed pleasure to let you all know that he has one of the highest donor because it's such a rare transplant. It's the highest donor and I hopefully Adrian will correct me, but it's just an esteemed honor that this young man, he has the highest honor of organ donation in Mississippi. So yes, let me show my face. We are going to the M-I, cricket letter I. Y'all know that's how I learned how to spell Mississippi because I'm from Miami. All right. So that's how we learn how to spell Mississippi. We put it to a song, and that's what good teachers do. We put stuff to songs, and students try to learn. All right, so I just wanted to show you all this right here. His name is Kendrick Gerard Murray, born April 26, 1990, and he passed away September 12th, 2015. Y'all know April is really important. Um, and I'm saying my comments for the end of the show because I want to bring Adrian on. And I just want you all to understand how sensitive a story such as this to be a donor family is. I know some people have a real tendency to want to be able to tell you how long, or they want to measure your level of grief. Me and Adrian are gonna talk about that too, because I really would like to know what barometer you're using to try to tell someone that in 2 weeks that they need to get over someone passing. It doesn't happen that fast. There is not a light that you can flick on. There's not a remote that you can click in order for you to get over grief in 2 weeks, in a week. I'm gonna tell you this. It definitely takes longer than a year for you to actually get over. You don't even get over it. Let me tell you that. Let me correct myself. You are never going to get over losing a loved one. I don't care who it is. You're never going to get over it. What you have to do, you got to go through it. If God brought you to it, He's going to bring you through it. I'm saying this right now. Yes, Bobby. Hey, Bobby. Everybody is different, and people need to understand that. Yeah, me and Adrian gonna talk about it. We gonna talk about it. I'm telling you, this my girl now. We good. We like this now because we gonna talk about this because it's not too kind. It's very disrespectful for people to come at you in that way. I know you might know them and you love them and you might not want to see them, hurting it in that way, but it's their own journey. And I'm gonna tell you this. Hey Rod, I'm gonna tell you this. There's a reason that if you've never been through anything in your life, God haven't tested you. There's a reason why God hasn't tested you. The reason why God has tested me over and over again is because He knows I'm going to give Him all the praise and the glory. Now, if you ain't never had no rain in your life, then let me tell you something. I feel like I have been through some tornadoes in this life, like I'm Dorothy in the Wizard of Oz. If you ain't never been in no storm in your life, just wait a while because it's coming. And I hope you stay prayed up in order to get through it. I'm gonna stop right there because I could go on, but some people, not any of my friends. I'm gonna say that right now. I'm gonna just say, okay, maybe not my friends, maybe not my family. Y'all know not to come at me with that hurry up and get over foolishness. No, me and Adrian gonna talk about it. Let me bring her on right now because I'm gonna get off my soapbox. Let's go to the M.I. cricket letter I, Mississippi. Hello,
Hey, Spirit Fishers. Hey, how are you?
I am great. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good.
How are I am again. I'm so happy. Hey, Tony. Let me tell you, Tony. We got to preach a little bit sometimes because
You better. Yeah.
what we did, Adrian. What we
We not doing it no more. That's it.
we not doing it.
Yeah.
We are not doing it.
We
We are
can't.
not. But we're gonna get to that. And today we are here to honor your son, Kendrick Murray. Did I say his middle name right? Is it Gerard?
Absolutely.
Okay. Um, we thank you for one being here, telling the story,
Hmm.
continuing to go out and be an advocate for organ donation, especially in our communities. So we're here. We're forever tied right now.
Hmm.
Um, as I was telling her prior to the show, I know what it feels like to lose someone because I did. And anytime July comes around, I begin to feel a little funny. And when I look at the date of the calendar, I'm like, what's wrong with you? You feel a little funny. You feel a little different. Something ain't right. Something's off. And
Hmm.
then all you have to do is look at the calendar and say,
That's it.
that's what it is. But people that has never been through anything, if you've never been through nothing, you don't know. So you can't sympathize or empathize with me in what I'm doing.
That anxiety starts building up.
Woo.
That it's just like it, and you just feel it. Like what is going on? And then, like you said, when you pay attention to the date or the calendar, it's like okay. All right, I get it. So yeah, I understand.
And it clicks.
Yes,
And
indeed.
it makes sense.
Yes.
Yeah, it definitely makes sense. But let's start off with just telling us, because I know we could go in, but we don't have to go in at the end.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Oh yeah.
tell us about Kendrick. Who was he?
Oh, my son. He was very special, and I say everybody can say that, but to me, my son was special like no other. Like he was very quiet growing up. Didn't bother anybody. He would watch his movies, anything, and like he was special like that. He was a crybaby. He was a mama's boy. And like I said, he was special to me. Now, I was not the best mother. I had him at a young age and didn't know how to be a mother. But I did what I needed to do. My parents did what they felt was best and did what they needed to do. But I was still his mother. So, and I still taught him things, what I thought was right. And he had two great grandparents who also instilled things into him. Church, that was a must. Yeah,
Okay.
you know what I mean. So we all had to go to church. So like I said, he was a typical teenage boy. Like sports, love sports, sports fanatic. So um,
Okay.
yeah, he was pretty down to earth. So never in a million years did I think, though, with everything that you teach your children and instill in them, that they will do something as selfless as register to be a donor.
Hmm. Hmm. Because in actuality, you all never talked about it.
No, um, I was taught that it was a sin. You're desecrating your body or whatever it is, and you're not supposed to do that. So we never discussed it. So I never. He signed up on his own. I didn't know. Yeah,
Yeah.
I did
Oh,
not know. I found out the day that he passed, um, that he was a donor. So I was like, that's where I met Miss Vicky, the care person, and I was like, look, you got to give me a minute. I just lost my. I have to process this because this is not something for me.
hmm.
It's
Hmm.
easy. Like, so I said, if you just give me an hour, I said, I promise I'll be back. She was like, I can't let you do that, but I was looking like, please, so I went home and I said, if he thought enough of somebody else to do something like this, that must mean that it was important to him. So it's important to me. So I went back and she
Okay.
was there.
Okay.
And I signed the papers and here we are today.
So let me ask you this,
Mhm.
because we know so many people think that they were looking at his driver's license instead of trying to save his life. When she came to you, did she ask you, was he an organ donor? Do you remember the process?
No, she told me that he was a
Okay.
donor.
Okay.
Um, the I'll just say this: the Friday before, um, they told me like basically it's a wrap. Not in those such terms, but it's a wrap. We have to do these tests, and that once we do these tests, we'll declare him. I said okay. My thing is, why do you need to do that? But I had never experienced that anymore. But now that I think about it, I think they were running the test because they already knew that he
That he
was a
was
donor.
a
And you have to keep him on the ventilator to keep the organs alive.
right, right.
So that
Okay.
that X's out all that organs harvests and stuff that people talk about. Yeah, that's another story. That irritates me. But anyway,
Okay.
so the next day, like I said, they declared him, and I knew it. He was cold. He had no more feeling. He wasn't responding. But in that time, I'm glad he got his friends came through. His talked to his father, or he heard his father's. Just a lot of things happened within those few days. So that Saturday, he was declared, and like I said, that's when I met Vicky, and we have been like best friends ever since. I love Vicky.
Mhm.
She is so sweet. That's my friend.
Okay. So your experience uh, was I mean, even though under those circumstances, most people kind of, it is fearful at first to just kind of think of this is something that have to be done,
Hmm.
and it can be overwhelming, but they are trained to just kind of do this in love, you know.
Absolutely. And you can just see it all over her. It wasn't like it was just her job. She had feelings about it. And then to find out after, the reason why is because she also was a donor mom. She lost her daughter in a
Mm,
in a car accident. So she understood as a mother where I was
Mhm.
coming from. Now, whether or not she knew that her daughter was a donor or not, I don't know that. I never asked her that,
Oh, wow.
but she knew how to handle the whole situation. So
It's
that made
sensitive.
me feel a lot more comfortable.
Okay. Okay. And for those people in that position, I have met them, and they are really sensitive to the family, understanding that what the family has to give up in order to
For the
bless
people
another
to
family.
live just on the news, just featured, all because of one small decision. But I'm going to tell you why. And this is so it's it's so odd. Like this is like a movie couldn't tell his story better. I have I moved here from Chicago. I'm not from here. So
Okay.
we moved here in 2008. So I'm here. I'm attending a church, since this time. There's a gentleman at our church who had been sick, diabetes, needed a kidney. So fast forward, August 2015, there was friends and family day at our church. And so I had just had a daughter who's 6 years old now. So God knew what he was doing because I'm 50 years old. I should not have a 6 year old for a baby.
Woo-hoo-hoo. God bless you.
Oh, God bless him. He blessed. He knew what he was doing.
Okay. Okay.
Knew what he was doing because
Mm,
he would have known that shortly afterward that I would lose my son. But
mm.
um, it was August. In fact, she had just turned a year. She was a year and a month. So he was like, he wasn't feeling well. I was like, no, I'm gonna stay. He was like, no, mom, go. I'll be okay. So I said, okay. So I grabbed her baby bag and her, and I went and I sat next to my dad. So they were passing these envelopes out. Can you see that?
Mhm. Mhm.
This is from August 2015. So I said, man, all I got is this baby bag. I said, let me just keep this envelope. I said, I'm gonna put something in it. One day I'm gonna put something in it and give him an offering. So that was August 2015. September, when my son passed, when my doing the donation papers, I was leaving out. And so Vicky said, wait a minute, I forgot. She said there's a thing called designated donation form. She said, so if you need anybody, they need like, whatever, she's like, you can assign this directly to this person. And I was like, okay. And I left. And I said, wait a minute. So I said, well, wait a minute. It's this guy. I'm going to tell you exactly how I said it. It's this guy in my church. I think the dude need a kidney or something. I said, so, I'm going to put his name down here. If he can use it, he can have it. And that was that. And I left and, people from the church came over. It was like 9:30. They're calling me. And it was like, he's a match. I'm like, who? He was like, the guy at your church, he's not answering. We need to get him on the phone. So I'm calling every number I know. I got folks calling. We over here chilling and stuff. We chilling. And we try to get this man on the phone. So Vicky's like, did he call you back? Because we don't have much time. We got to go to the next person on the list. He finally answers the phone. I'm like, dude. He was like, yeah, what's up?
What?
Like, I said, hey, my son is a match for you. Do you think they're trying to call you so you can get, your transplant? He was like, oh, okay.
Rich? That excited?
And I'll tell you what, he had been going through this for so long and on the list for so long. And every time he got excited, he was let down.
Uh,
Not only was he the same blood type, not only was he the perfect match, he has had no problems
no
and he's
rejection.
doing fine.
Wait. That, let me make sure. Are we talking about him?
Yeah. Hmm. Yes.
Y'all see it. Y'all see it.
He's
Y'all
married
see it.
now. and he is doing great. Like I could have walked away. He every time we interview, he's like, I don't know what made her stop, and I don't either because I was on my way to have me another glass of wine because I still just could not process. Say
Okay.
whatever. I just still could not process this. Like that was my firstborn, you know, and like really, and again, it goes back to what you teach because my mom taught me about being not being selfish, thinking of others. I teach my daughters that, taught him that. So whatever it was, he thought about that, and I'm like, wow. So I could have walked on and kept going, but no. And so like, she's doing fine.
Now, you sent me a picture with is his name Angel?
Hmm.
This is Angel.
And not even knowing, hadn't even known him yet, I had started a group called Mother of Angels. Now, come on now, stop playing with
I
me.
was gonna ask you about that.
I didn't,
Listen,
I didn't know. I mean, come on now. I'm like, look, this is too. People are like, that's what amazes a lot of people. Like, really? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, I did not know, and I met him. I was snooping, and I'm on Facebook.
this social media. This social media.
So I just typed in I don't know how it went about, but I was doing something on Facebook and I got an email and that's what it was. I got an email. So I'm looking and I'm like, they don't speak that much English. So I'm like, oh my God, I bet that's them. It wasn't. However, they were related to
Okay.
they were related to him. And on the first chance, I had that family and friends picnic, and we have been. That was the Mardi Gras parade. He's in a Mardi Gras
Okay.
parade float every year.
Okay. Okay.
So
Okay.
yes, it's just amazing. Like I have him, and there's a picture I sent you with an older lady.
Yes. No, I don't have that up here, but
Yes, go
yes,
ahead. Okay.
yes. But when I saw the cake and I said, now what is Mothers of Angels, which I figured it was maybe donor family, just kind of related, and your baby being an angel and donating to someone else.
I kind of started off like that, but I started meeting more mothers who really lost their children. So basically, I just incorporated everybody. I just did not, but it was truly geared towards that at first. And, it was just amazing. Like, um, I just didn't understand. Like, it was just so much going on. I'm sorry. But yeah, I
No,
wish you
you
had that other picture because I have. This is the coup de grace. I mean, like, you think that first one was something. I have a cousin. She's been sick ever since I've known her.
okay?
Here we go again. Every year, every Sunday, we do one Sunday a month. We are in Mississippi at my cousin's house. We have birthday dinners for anybody in that particular month. We celebrate everybody. That's my cousin. That's her.
Okay.
So
Wait. Do I? Hold, hold on. Y'all know I say there's no crying on this show, but after what I've been through, we can cry whenever we want. So I'm gonna just get my tissue ready. Go ahead, Adrian. Go ahead.
So here we go again in August. She was like, "Where's your son?" I was like, Clint, he has to work, but he gonna be hanging out with his friends. So she was like, "Well, you know what? Give him a hug for me and tell him I said hello." I said, "You know what, Clint? I sure will." My son passed. I get a phone call from my cousin Connie the next day. She said, "Shell," they call me Michelle, it's my middle name. She said,
Mhm.
Clint got the phone call. I said, who called her? Like, she was like, they called her to go to Jackson for a heart. I said, really? I said, okay. It's still not processing. I said, okay. And I said, and I'm like, that's good because the last time I saw her, her heart was working at 10%. So she really needed this transplant. And she was at an oxygen tank and she was just weak. And I just felt so bad because I never heard her complain. I never heard her feel sorry for herself. She always had a smile on her face. And she always, laughing, having a good time. Mother's Day, I get a letter in the mail from my cousin, his heart recipient. Yes, ma'am. So we kept, I only wanted to know who had my son's heart. And to know that the heart is still in the family, let me tell you something. You all may not think it's important to be a donor or register, but you never know who you are going to help. Never in a million years would have thought that my own cousin would receive my son's heart. And they did not tell me. She wrote a letter. And I got the letter. And on Mother's Day was the first time I hugged my cousin and heard my son's heart beating in her chest. So I'm telling you, it is important because the life you save, my mother always used to tell me the life you save might be your own. Yeah, I believe that because it's my own family. So people are amazed when they hear the story. How does your own cousin end up with my son's heart? And why did I A not stay home with my son? My son made me go to church. Not that I wanted to. He was like, no, you go, because I would have never known about this. Never. I would have never known that he was in that much of trouble. And I possibly could have walked out of that door and not signed that paper for him. You know what I mean? So I just it,
What?
it's so.
Okay, so I was speechless. I was speechless because because of what I just experienced. Some of the pieces were not all there, but I knew I was it's like I know we talked for a minute
Mhm.
when we first, connected. We talked for a minute.
Yeah.
And yes, daddy, it is my dad is like, that's unbelievable. And my mom is saying, praise God. You should see all the wows and the stuff. And Arthur, hello, classmate, because I do believe we went to Miami Central together. Just let me know. Shout out, throw me a rocket sign because I do believe you went to Central with me. Um,
Yeah.
Adrian,
It's amazing. Like to this day, I just look at some of the like I get the stories how Michael Martin wanted to come to the funeral and be there for me. And I'm like, you are healing. Like you are you need to take care. This is what I tell him, like, protect PMI, protect my investment.
come on.
That is our joke we have with each other. PMI. He used to call me. He called me about his levels, his tests, all that, and I appreciate that. Not that he has to, but like that's why when I say he was like, "Yo, like, what's up?" I'm like, dude, this is your chance. You are like, is this mic on? This is your opportunity. You better sing like you've never sung before. This is your opportunity. But he had been let down so many times before. He uh
He's numb.
he just didn't get excited.
He was
And
numb
yeah,
at that point because the dry runs can be a little disrespectful. Now, anybody that's been through that know that the dry runs are disrespectful. And I remember being told one time by my late husband, like, oh, they might have one. And I was like, oh, and then it was like, so don't ever do that to me no more. I don't like it. And if you all don't understand what drive runs, that's what you call a drive run, where they might have a potential match for you, and then it is declined,
absolutely.
and they don't go through with the heart transplant. But let me tell y'all something. If you all don't text, tell, tag somebody about this broadcast. If you would please send it to about 100 people, Send it to, send it to all your family and friends. For the people that feel that organ donation is unnecessary,
It's
look at this
very,
story right here,
it
because
is
I can only imagine how your heart leaped for joy when you heard your baby's heart through your.
let me tell you,
I got my tissue. I got my tissue.
it's even more like my daughter was a little over one, and she was can be funny acting sometimes. But when we had a picnic, we had a Mother's Day picnic, and her family I met. I mean, you just used to seeing like maybe one or two people, but like her whole family, her son, her mom, her brother, they were all there, and then everybody already is there from the family. And my 6-year-old, that was the first person she went to. And she sat on her lap and they just sat there. I don't know if I sent you that picture. They just sat there and they were just chilling. And I just said, wow. Like my 6-year-old is everything that my son wasn't. Outgoing, talkative, just he like you can put him in a corner. You will never know he was there. You can go on vacation for a week. He'll be in that same spot. He would have fixed the cereal, made his. He would have done it, but because he was not out at young age, wasn't outgoing like that. So
Hmm.
that's what I'm saying. Like that blew me. Like what made him do that? Not to mention, and like in April, he had just gotten baptized. Like everything was lining up down.
Lining up.
And then here I am, depressed. Then my health declined. I mean, before I even started volunteering, because that was the last thing on my mind. Who are you to ask me to do this?
But it was also, who are you not to?
Because way bad. Once this COVID came on, it's like it took my heart again. Like I'm not really gifted in a lot of stuff. Like just the transparency part of it. Like I was
Mhm.
like drinking like heavy, like not even caring about my other two daughters, not even caring about myself. Like y'all took my son. Like my son was working, and the same game that well no, it was a game. It was Mississippi State was playing. He was about to get off. A rock gets caught up in his skate. He could have let the tray go. So for since 2015, my question is, why didn't you let go? I have seen you recover from a balance on a lot of stuff.
Mhm.
Why didn't you let go? And that's haunting me for years. Like I don't understand. It's haunting me that I felt like they killed my son because you all did not tell the ambulance or anybody anything what happened to him. Like he had an on the job injury. Why was there not everything should have stopped?
Mhm.
Okay. Ambulance call, go get him checked in because that may have stopped the seizures. That may have when he finally got to the correct hospital because they did not tell him, took him to the incorrect hospital. By the time he got to the correct hospital, his eyes were 10% dilate. He was basically gone. They take part of the skull out, the swelling, just all that. And I'm trying to figure out why are you people in here crying? So by this time, I'm in mama bear mode. My claws is out. I'm finna snap. Somebody gonna tell me something. But
Okay.
it took the day that we had his funeral to find out the truth because they kept lying about it. So the anger that I get, like you were saying earlier, to get over it, you can't. And I like I said, I'm like this close, you cannot. My son never had seizures. He never had a history of seizures. Yeah, I saw that one. Let me tell you, I
Okay.
got funny guy work. Yeah, he did not have a history of seizures. When he fell that first time, when that it was so hard, that's he was losing blood, and he had lost it internally,
Oh.
so they didn't see it. So when he said he was okay, It's like they just, oh yeah, he all right. No, he still hit his head, and they said it was so hard. It was so hard and so loud that he basically bounced back up on his knees, and then he started getting discombobulated. But of course, but nonetheless, it all comes back full circle for me because um, he didn't fight because he knew that this was his time.
It was his purpose.
It was his purpose for a long time, and it scared. I'm gonna be honest. It scares me because I'm like, oh my God, what? Like I have nothing now. I can't go out and volunteer, and it made me feel even worse. And I'm like, my son, his name is, man, not that it has to be a lot, but it's like it's the importance is not getting out there anymore. Like nobody is going to listen once it's time to get back out there. I'm like, what am I going to do? I want to work for them. I don't have a degree. Oh my God. And it's just so much. And I'm like, what is next? And I lost myself in that because when you ask
Mm,
for something and you get it, and then all of a sudden it's snatched, once again from up under you, it's like, okay, okay, okay.
right,
And then
right.
one day I see Sandria Strong.
Come on, sis. Cause you know now, I love me some Cedric. You know,
Baby. And
we
I
did.
said, people are like, oh my God, Mr. Adrian, you are so strong. I'm like, no, I'm not strong. I'm holding, God is literally holding me up because I'm still weak. I'm not, it's been since 2015 and I'm not there yet. I have my days. But I
Eh,
watched her, when I watched her,
right,
I said, somebody killed this woman's baby. Like, oh my.
right.
And
It's
then
just
you got to sit through this, like, okay. So really, to me, I'm like, girl, I said to myself, you having a pity, you having a pity party for nothing.
right.
But
So
meanwhile,
cut that out.
I'm gonna pour me another glass, and I got
Okay.
to sit back and I got to watch this again because I missed something. It's something that I needed to see on that, and I did, and I'm like, okay, it's something that we need to do. And I'm working on that. But when this trademark comes through, I'm ready. But people really do need to understand the importance of registering. Yeah, I mean, if we can talk all day long, but if you can look at your family member and watch them struggle and not say to yourself, what can I do? Even as a living donor, you
Right,
know, it's
right,
like you have got to you bury your talents in the ground, nothing is gonna grow.
right. Yeah. And did we just say that? We just said that we talked about that doing
No, yeah,
while we were backstage.
yeah.
You know,
It's
you are not going to take your organs with you. You get in the ground, you have a shell of a body. Your organs are not in there and they are not going to regrow. So I need for everyone to really and truly understand, what you're doing. And this is the reason why I started Transplant Talk with Nishonda. And again, Christopher Joseph Britton was part was part of it. And now that he's gone, I'm still going on. I'm forever grateful and indebted to him for him being able to help me record my first video, give me everything that I needed, my camera, my lights, this banner. He literally was very instrumental in helping me. And so to be able to see and talk to you and you still telling other people that after all you've been through, y'all still need to become organ donors. And let me tell you, congratulations for your award for Volunteer of the Year in 2019.
I got it twice,
Congratulations twice
twice.
for what you're doing. I know, as Emmett would say, hey, Emmett, that I am the force behind the voices of the people of
Mm-hmm.
organ donation. This is a very sensitive subject, and topic. Howsoever, it can no longer be ignored.
Yeah, it's not a secret,
No,
and hey, like I say, I may be in a position one day, you know, you may be, it's just so critical that we stop worrying about what's going to happen or being selfish. I'm not giving. Okay, but what if you need it? You don't want to give, but you want to receive.
Right.
If that was you on that table, I'm sure your family will be out there advocating, advocating, advocating. Well, you shouldn't have to beg if you already signed that paper, and you're
Right.
not, like I said, like you're not going to use it. So why
Right.
not
At
help some?
all.
Why not bless somebody else? Be a blessing to someone else. Um,
Right.
I
There
just,
she go. That's that song, that strong sister right there. Hey, Centria. We love you, lady. We love you.
man, I'm telling you,
Her
I
strength is impeccable. Her name alone, the adjective of her name being strong, is so befitting. It was made for her. So
mm-hmm,
oh, we forever connected. We are forever connected, and I love doing what I do. I absolutely love doing what I do.
oh, absolutely,
Um, but I just want to make sure people really and truly understand. Stop trying to measure people's uh, their grief. Stop trying to measure how long they should still love and honor that person, because as long as Sadria has breath in her body, she's always going to advocate and honor her daughter. And as long as Adrian has breath in her body, she's always going to advocate
absolutely,
and honor her son. So as
absolutely,
long as these people, and let's understand this now, we are African American,
yeah,
and we are telling, and when you seen this baby that received, y'all see that, right?
mm,
Y'all see that, right? Her son, her son saved this boy's life. Her
my,
son saved this woman's life. Her cousin
uh-huh,
and her son saved this gentleman's life, who probably had lost all hope in thinking. And yeah, we're gonna have him on the show because we need to talk to him. Um, just to make sure we're gonna have to have y'all back together. The donor stories are
they are very,
definitely important. This summer we're gonna do some work because we're gonna get these stories out. They should be honored and treasured forever. And yes, classmate, this comment think about being yes. Now, if you do become an organ donor, I just need y'all to know where y'all can go. And I hope you still in Florida. Either way, you can go to registerme.org, or you can go to look here, go to my website, please. Can y'all go to my website? And it's both of them are there. And I'm
mm.
gonna here again, it's the one other life states.
Or if they renew their license, they can do it there too. It's easy.
Absolutely.
Stick their heart on there. I saw my friend
Absolutely.
Patricia. Hey, Patricia.
Patricia Williams, I saw that
Yes,
too.
hey, that's my sister right there. I love her so
Okay,
much.
so
Mm-hmm.
go back to the comment. So listen, everyone. Also show thank you, Tony. It's because I had this awesome woman on here. And Sadria, you know who we
Oh
are.
man,
We love you,
I
girl.
can't wait
We
to
love
meet
you.
her. I cannot wait to meet
I
her.
know.
Like, and
And
you were
see,
having you got the is it July that you were thinking about doing the
yeah, but we're not gonna let that out yet because we
mm-mm.
gonna work this
Okay.
together. This
We got yeah.
we
You
got stuff to
got to
do.
say it. I got to say
Yes,
it. Okay.
yes. We have stuff to do this summer again, Adrian. I thank you so much for sharing this beautiful story of your son and the lives that he touched, and
Mm.
allowing him. I know that had to be a beautiful thing. And I know some people takes the heart, they take the heartbeat and put it in a bear, for someone to hear. But I can tell you right now, all this death I've had, water bag. So I know you was crying when you heard that heartbeat.
When I found out who I was yelling and screaming, and my daughter was like, "What is going on?" To drive out there, and every time, like she's getting better. She doesn't cry as much, but
Mm-hmm.
uh, her doctor was like, you need, it was 10%. Like, you need to get this done.
That's a and the 10% is the EF. So the level of someone's heart for that level is what was so important. When you get down to double digits and single digits, that's important. So my late husband's went down to negative. Well, his was at a maybe 9%. Like it just really went down drastically.
Mm.
And so that's why I encourage people to please, 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 please go out, become an organ donor. If you don't want it on your driver's license, you can go to the register, registerme.org, donatelifeflorida.org. All of these things you can do
That's
to become an organ donor. Let's start this conversation, everybody. Let's start it. But please like, share. I believe Miss Pat, thank you for sharing this video. If everyone would please, please, please share this video, show it to your family and friends. If there's another story, all of the stories that's been on this show has been amazing. Another donor family, Sadria Strong. If you all look at that story, you will also be amazing. It should make you want to go out and become an organ donor as well. And don't be afraid of it. But I'm gonna tell y'all one more time. Stop telling people to go ahead. Stop telling people it's time for them to stop grieving because they're still living. It's not easy, but stop telling people to do it until you have experienced it for yourself.
But even if you do, and I'm sorry, even if you do experience for yourself, everybody, I was explaining earlier, everybody's story is not the same. I can empathize with somebody who has lost a child, but the way that person's child passed away and my child's
It's
passed
different.
away is different.
It's
And you
different.
never know the relationship that that person had with the child as well. So for you to say, oh, get over it, or it's been long enough, this, that, and the third, that needs to stop. And you need to think about what would happen if you were in that person's shoes. 'Cause that happened to me maybe like a year afterwards. Uh, Same thing happened, but that person had to come back in my inbox and apologize because
Right.
he lost his son in a tragic way. And the only thing I said was, you know what, I understand. I
Mm.
understand. And I'm
Right.
not tripping.
Right.
You have to be
It,
very
it-
careful.
right. No, right. And especially how you treat people. And I could tell you this, when a person passed away, everybody's at their house and that's yes, they need you then, but it's the month after, it's the 6 months after, it's the year after that something can happen, it clicks and it just hits you, and there is nothing that you can do in order to stop it. So I would say, as a people, you all think that, oh, we done had the funeral, you done buried them, and that's it. No, people need people. COVID, who was disrespectful,
Very.
but still be able to touch someone and do that, because once all the noise stops and you're sitting in your home in silence.
It's that's when it's the worst. Because you know what? When that's when the enemy starts to creep on in and starts going through your head. And then here you are, you driving around, you at the liquor store, you at somebody's house you ain't got no business. You everywhere but where you need to be. And I've been through that. I've done it. So I
Listen,
get it.
right, and you got to pray real hard. Like, you have to pray real, real hard. Like, pray hard. And we could
Right.
go on this all day. I'm just telling you, stay in prayer. Whatever it is that you can do, stay in prayer. Keep your comments to yourself. Unless that person is causing some harm to them, close your mouth. If
Mm,
they are trying to harm you or trying to harm themselves, close your mouth. Just be there. Just be there for
mm.
them. Call them. Hey, I was thinking about you. Want to make see, just want to see how you doing, and you might make someone's day. All
You,
right.
yes, you.
So, Miss Adrian, again, I thank you so much.
Oh, thank you. I
I
appreciate
thank you so much for being on the show. Hey, said, I thank you all so much for watching, for sharing. We're gonna have more shows like this, and we're also gonna make sure that we talk about the mental health aspect of organ donation.
I'm
We
saying
have to talk about the mental health.
you hit it because you not only are you dealing with the grief, but knowing that somebody is actually living and you can't have your own. That's a lot. That's that is a lot to deal with. Yes, ma'am.
Tune in to the mental health part of Miss Adrian and Nashana.
We gonna hit it.
And Cedria, because we coming. We
Mhm.
coming, ladies. We coming. I'm gonna let this go because we have ran over that. I hope I didn't go too long. Um, I thank you all so much. I'm gonna close it out here again. Thank you all so much for watching. Tune in next week, and I believe I seen him leave a comment. This will be my guest next week, Mr. Larry Sawyer. I appreciate you all so much. You're going to hear his amazing story as well. And thank you all again for my mother shared. Thank you all. Thank you, my daughter shared,
Thank
Adria
you.
shared. I love all of you all. Look, I ain't even need the tissue. You gave the chills a little, but we good. So until next time, classmate, thank you for watching. Go ahead and share everybody. Share the call like
Absolutely.
let's get these views up. I really need y'all to go register and be part of my YouTube channel, please. Thank you, thank you, thank you. YouTube, Playing Talk with Nashana. Go up, click on subscribe. I'm at 210, guys. We got some more. Yeah, she did do a great job. So,
Thank
all
you.
right. Love y'all. Tune in again next week. God bless you. Stay right there, Adrian.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you
And
guys.
thank you, guys.